Live from New York. It's the show that might go pumpkin mode. We've had a few good shows. Well, I'm a little bit nervous.
No, we're past that. We're not. We're never on pumpkin watch.
Thank you, bro.
We're never on pumpkin.
Wilds is
got
still
an orange tie on.
Wilds had a viral moment yesterday, and he's been floating around the office ever since.
And I looked through today's script. I'm like, I got nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to carry me. Yeah. We start with a must-win for the Cowboys. Dallas versus the Giants tonight. Dak and company are almost 6-point favorites. And he's had plenty of success in the past. Since 2017, a perfect 12-0 while throwing 26 touchdowns with a passer rating of 110.
Why does that upset you, bro?
So, bro,
those
question
numbers
is,
are phenomenal.
Yeah.
more likely the Cowboys, like have the
wow.
like this. So the question is this: more likely the Cowboys bring their A game, or
You don't need it.
You're gonna be done.
their F game. Those are the options.
What?
This is an A with a tomato can.
I think that's the one he wants.
Right.
I think that's what he's going to give him.
Yeah, put that on there.
Yeah,
Rob.
I think that's
perfect.
Yeah, I knew that's what he wanted.
Wow.
I'll take this off. It'll be confusing.
Yeah.
For the audience. Go ahead.
This is a layup if I've ever seen one.
See, I
It's
know.
a breakaway dunk, a free throw. I mean, we know what the Giants are, tomato cans, and we know what the Cowboys do to tomato cans. They live for these games. So I expect a blowout of massive proportions.
Really?
I expect Dak to go 300 plus and 3 TDs at least. I expect Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and the rest of the front line to be all over Daniel Jones. I'm even expecting Rico Dowdle or Deuce Vaughn or Zeke maybe to have a nice run or two.
Okay, well.
All right, CeeDee Lamb bounce back game. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, CeeDee's back. CeeDee said he was going to look in the mirror. Oh, Micah's back and all of that. All right. So, yes, they are going to have an A game against the tomato can. And if they don't, here's the thing. The question was bring their game.
Oh.
Even if I don't think they will, but even if they lost, even if it's a close nip and tuck game where they edge it out at the end, I still think they will have brought their A game. It will just mean, Nick.
Oh, that's a good take.
This year, their A game's not good enough.
Okay.
Their A game's not much.
But,
so I think their antennas are up.
Yeah.
They've lost their last two. This is a team they know they own. They are coming to play. And if that's not enough, Nick, it's a bad sign for the rest of the season.
That I totally agree with. But I just want to ask a question before I give my answer. If they do what you said at the beginning, it won't mean anything to you, correct?
No.
Then, and I'm not trying to conflate topics. I know we're going to talk Jets in a moment. Yeah. But it seems odd to me how much faith was instilled by you and most of America for what the Jets did to the Patriots and a pre-dismissal of if the Cowboys do something similarly to the Giants. Sure. I think the Giants are better than the Patriots, but they're put them in the same bucket of tomato cans, if you will. And it's not as if the Jets have a long history of postseason success, so they are judged by a different standard. But my answer is the A game clearly. And I also think this show as a whole is a little too down on the Cowboys. I think that Brew has been consistently down on the kind of level of skepticism with them, I should say, the last few years.
Well learned.
And Wilds yesterday called them a fish that looks like an old rubber shoe in the lionfish.
That's not exactly.
I can't do it exactly the way you did it.
I never want to see a lionfish. I'll tell you that.
They're not good.
Yeah,
I said they look bad.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So you brought up Dak against the Giants. We could take that larger to Dak against his own division, where for the quarterback wins, folks, only Patrick Mahomes has been more dominant against his own division in NFL history than Dak against the NFC East. Those have not always all been tomato cans, Brew. It's impossible for his career. Philly and over the course of his career, you had a Washington playoff team. You had a couple Giants playoff teams. They haven't
been consistently
right. Good. Philly's the only one that's been consistently good. So I kind of want to. You're right. Wilds. They haven't looked good the last 2 weeks. There's no doubt about it. Can you name, and this is more rhetorical, I'm not putting you on the spot, 7 teams in the league that are definitively, without a doubt, better than the Dallas Cowboys? Because I couldn't. I tried. Kansas City, Buffalo, Green Bay, Detroit, Baltimore, and you're going to say you have to include New Orleans because they played them and beat them, so fine.
Maybe.
But I don't even know, but I'll just, it's fine.
I would say Philly.
I don't think Wilds would say Philly. I don't think he would say definitively. I think the
San Francisco, I know that they've looked.
I don't think they're this year. I don't think they're definitively better.
The Vikings.
I would add.
I mean, I know that the crux of this argument is past success versus what I've seen.
No,
in the
that's
last
fine.
3
Vikings.
Games. But I'm adding the Vikings and I'm adding the Seahawks until they lose.
And you're adding the Steelers too, then.
I'm adding the Steelers.
Okay,
yes.
all right. That's okay.
Okay, this has gone off.
So
No.
That's
and the Cowboys have won 1 game.
That's
so
not. So
tell me.
I don't even think Dallas is a state champ. I throw in Houston.
But I don't think you can say. Here's the thing. I don't think you can say Houston has definitively been better than the Cowboys this year. I don't think you. I don't think you can.
The Cowboys got blasted.
Houston got blasted
at home.
Houston got blasted.
Not like the Cowboys did by
34-7 is pretty
it's
bad.
It's not 44-19.
Well, you're right.
And they were down
44-19 for the record is closer.
I'd rather not give up 44 points.
Okay, that's fine. I'd rather not score only 7. But they both got blasted. So the point that I am trying to make is this. I thought by my math there were 5 teams that I confidently feel are without question better than the Cowboys at the moment, and one of them is 1-2 in Baltimore. Kansas City, Buffalo, Green Bay, Detroit, Baltimore. There's probably only also 5 teams that are definitively worse than the Cowboys. I think they are in this mushy middle of the NFL right now. And I thought what your commentary on them to me is too definitive, that we know they're bad. We can't say we know they're good. But I don't think we know they're bad.
I think you also think Cincinnati's better than them. Is that fair?
Oh, I definitely think Cincinnati's better than them. But
Cincinnati doesn't have. If you look at Cincinnati's stats, they're not last in a lot of stuff. Like the Cowboys.
Cincinnati's defense pretty bad.
But not last.
Yeah, they're not.
I mean, nobody's last if the Cowboys are last.
Well, they're really last. Running the ball.
Yeah.
It's the double whammy of not being able to stop the run, not being able to run the ball, so Dak doesn't get the ball. I just feel like it's a chain reaction of bad. We can't run. Okay, so Dak has to have short drives. We can't stop the run, so they've got long drives. And so when Dak does have the ball, they're 27th in time possession. So it's just this chain reaction of
But don't you think that
badness.
Chain reaction, and I think Brew agrees with me here on this. I am sorry for talking too much. I'll give you the ball back. That chain reaction at times will go in the exact opposite direction. They will play a good first quarter, get out to a lead. The other team will then not be able to just run the ball. They can do what they do best.
Mostly.
Or just they play offensive football in the way they did in the fourth quarter against Baltimore, in the first quarter against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like I just think asking like that's an impossibility. I agree with you if they maintain being the worst running and worst run defense, they're terrible. I just don't think that is a guarantee.
No, look, I picked them to make the playoffs.
Yes.
So I think they're what they've been. I think they're what they've been the last few years. But we'll see tonight, because if they don't blow them out,
there's a little bit of pressure for the Cowboys too that I think there's a lot of teams are 1-2.
Yeah.
There's more tumult internally, it feels like, in Dallas, that their 1-2 doesn't feel like the 49ers 1-2.
I don't know about
because 49ers have been injured. That's the
it's like when we get whole, we'll be fine. If the Giants go down, opening drive, and Singletary's just run 6 yards, 5 yards, break
Daniel
one. Daniel
Jones
hits one to Malik, and they score on their first drive or even second drive. I think you're going to get a tense Dallas team.
I think it's going to be 31-17 Dallas. I think and that 17 includes a garbage time Giants score. I think the Cowboys will control this game. What I commit to you guys is this. If the Cowboys lose this game, or even if it's the Cowboys win in the final seconds type of victory, I will come on here Friday and say, I think Wilds might have been right.
Reckoning
that
time.
This team is not anywhere close to the
If
team
they
it was
lose,
last year. If they lose,
I think they probably won't make the playoffs.
Yes, I
It just means they're not good.
I agree
It'll
with
be a
that
great
entirely.
show, though. It will be a great show.
Great show. This will be where's
my
that
God, we
at?
have to get
F
a
is
larger
over
one.
here.
Over there.
We
F
gotta get
will
a
be
larger
ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers looked like the old Aaron Rodgers last Thursday, and he brought back a lesson from his old team. Okay, Brew, your reaction.
Both of you guys know I'm in on the Jets.
Yeah, you're a Jets
Right?
guy.
I got them winning the division, making the playoffs.
Jets,
Not Super
Nets,
Bowl,
Clippers,
anything
teams
like
you
that.
grew up with.
This is too much.
Thank
you
you.
thought
Oh,
so?
thank
This
you.
is ridiculous.
I liked it.
Thank you. Liked it?
Yeah, I thought it was sober-minded.
Oh,
I mean, success.
thank you, Brew.
Success. You're 2-1 against two. Sorry, Wilds.
fair.
Chumps.
Oh, wow. I thought he was going
tomato
tomato.
Well, they're even below
Substantive,
to
yeah.
chumps.
one hit
They're
harder.
combined 1-5, the teams you've beaten.
Yes.
And the team that pounded you, we know we think they're good,
It's
San
their
Francisco,
only win
but
of the
they're
year.
1-2.
Right.
Right. Like, what? And look, I get if Rodgers is in the locker room talking to his player. He probably should be saying this to their organization has no history of winning, obviously,
Yeah.
not recently. And, I mean, decades.
I mean, Hassan Reddick does. They could lean on. He's not there. Damn. That sucks.
So, right, even the coaches, none of them have the front office, no history of winning. He could be telling them, look, guys, we got to be able to
Doing to
handle
them what he
the
did to
test."
Salah?
Publicly, right? Publicly, he shouldn't say this. In fact, what he should say publicly and privately is, we haven't done anything yet. I mean, I get it. They asked him the question. He wasn't unsolicitedly talking about how much great success we've had. They asked him that, but the answer should be like, guys, we're 2-1. It's early. We got to keep improving every week. Prosperity, that was the question. Prosperity, we haven't done anything yet. That's what you should be saying. And that's what Salah needs to hear. That's what Joe Douglas needs to hear. That's what those players need to hear. So, and you said it, he was liking it. The smile, you haven't done a thing yet. I'm not out on them still, but no, that was
I did not think that's what you were going to say. I did think maybe it was what you were going to say, so I had you guys kind of flip-flopped. But when I watched this, I felt like, am I the only person that watched the Titans game?
Yeah.
They
lost that game.
They played really poorly in that game. Like, a win is a win, and wins are a team stat. I understand that. I'm not acting like they're actually want to do. But you were playing what might end up being the worst team in the league. They are certainly, if you were doing a worst team in the league draft right now, they wouldn't make it past the 5th pick. I guarantee you that. And in that game, they were outgained on the ground. They were outgained in the air. They had fewer first downs. They trailed at halftime, and the game was tied with 5 minutes left. Like, it is not as if the Jets are rolling. The Jets rolled on Thursday against the Patriots. You get credit for that. You know, the Patriots also would be on that worst team draft,
absolutely.
but you get credit for that. That's a traditional opponent that you dominated in all phases of the game. But it just felt like the quote of a team on a 4-game winning streak.
Right.
Or a team that, it had played the Titans and Patriots and dominated both games. And so that's what was odd to me was I don't look at the Jets as a team that right now is in the midst of a bunch of success. I look at the Jets as a team coming off an excellent performance. And Rodgers coming off him individually being incredibly optimistic about, man, because no matter what he says, it's almost impossible for me to believe he didn't have some doubt. Did he have a thought cross his mind?
Individually.
Am I ever going to have another great game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like he has talked about.
And even and the injury too.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, that's what I mean. And that's not. I know I sometimes take shots at Aaron. That was not. That was sincere there. And so I think him being like, man, felt like old Aaron, all that stuff. That's totally legitimate as well. I just don't think the Jets are like. Hey, I think the Jets this season played C- week 1 and got blasted, played a C week 2 and won, and played an A+ week 3 and won by a lot. I just, that's how I look at it.
And he should understand that, being a guy that's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? And a veteran.
Are you tying any of this to long week, We're in the national game on Thursday. Now we got extra rest. We also have the Broncos coming into town. Little Nat Hackett revenge game. Aaron Rodgers saying, "Hey, everybody, let's stay focused here." Or do you think there's a little bit of like, you know what? I'm gonna put on a show.
Look, I think Rodgers is going to play great. I think the Jets are going to roll. We all know how much he likes Nat Hackett. I'm sure he wants to get this victory for Hackett and embarrass them. Yes, and I think they probably will.
Okay. Finally, Joe Burrow, still winless, facing a Panthers team. Might not be good, but they are energized. Bad vibes. Is Burrow the number one reason for the slow start?
Oh, no, I don't think he's number 1, 2, or 3. Like, the simplest reason for the slow start is the defense has been really bad when the offense has been good. There's more, and we can show you those numbers. Even though the offense was terrible in week 1, the offense for the year, good, really good is too strong, but above average in everything, and pretty damn good in a few things, while the defense is below average and really bad in, almost everything. I think the more esoteric answer is, for good or for bad, the Bengals thus far this season have played to the exact level of their opponent. And when you do that, every game's going to be in the balance. Right. When you play to the level of the Patriots and you have, a touchdown to Gesicki that's kind of a bad overturn. They overturned it when they probably shouldn't have.
You've been on Twitter too much. No, that was not a catch. Sorry.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. And then on the very next play, you fumble going into the end zone. Now you lose that game. Then you play to the level of the Chiefs, and you have the game in hand, and then you commit pass interference, and guy hits a field goal, you lose that game. Then you play to the level of Washington, and actually, what was lost kind of in the mayhem of that amazing Jaden Daniels play was that was one of the best defensive reps of the season for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The guy got home. It was tight coverage. It put them in position to get the ball and win the game, and it was just they get paid too. Yep. Amazing throw, amazing catch. But you're playing exactly to the level of who you're playing. So every game has come down to 1 or 2 plays, and you've been on the wrong side of it all 3 times. So is it the leader's responsibility to make sure they have a more consistent level? Maybe, but that's what's happened to the Bengals.
I agree mostly with you. The defense is the number one problem. All right, they're bottom 10 in points allowed. They're allowing almost 27 points a game. Mm-hmm. All right, they're bottom 10 against the rush. All right, and so the defense has been the number one problem. What I would put on Burrow, because the question was the 0-3 start, last 2 losses, no, not on him. He played well, and they scored every possession against Washington except the missed field goal, which was a 48-yarder, so McPherson could have made that. The first loss, you can put that on him because it was the Patriots, and you scored 10 points.
Scored 10 points.
And he threw for what, 160, 164 yards, no TDs. I'll put that on him. I get Chase wasn't himself, Jamar Chase yet, but still, I could put that on him. But I would put the defense, I think Zach Taylor, I talked about Burrow's role in the 0-3 starts this week, but Zach Taylor has to have a part of that as well. As far as him being more, talkative with his team, I like that. I think his Joe Cool personality can definitely work. Games against the Chiefs when, you don't get too rattled when it's a tight game and you're cool. That's great. But there's a time, Brady obviously was cool under pressure, but there was times when you saw him jumping on his teammates. Yeah. I loved when Burrow, what he did with Chase, Jamar against the Chiefs when Jamar got the 15-yard. Like, he pushed him away, he grabbed him, and they're good friends, so it wasn't like showing him up. They need some of that. He's the leader. They all look up to him. So I do think that's a step in the right direction for him.
You seen any Panthers media on social media? Little Panthers clips? Andy Dalton in the locker room? Good vibes.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.